So, funny story. I just got done recording the last video and realized that while I was talking about speaking the truth, I never actually told you the truth. So, like, I told you who I was, but the business that I'm working on is part of my barbering. And the struggle and the shame is coming from the fact that I've been doing hair for 12 years. And now I am aware of being able to make money in a different way. And I'm wanting to build a new brand and not be behind the chair as much anymore. And there's shame behind that because not only like the audacity of this chick going and actually doing something more than just work behind the chair, but there's also the shame that I'm realizing of like back in the day, people prided themselves on being around for decades and like being known and sticking to one thing. Like where I'm from is old ways. Like it's in the Midwest, the Bible Belt, and like the farmers are generations of farmers, and it's like, you know, expected. And if you can outlast everything, then there's like a sense of pride there. Though where I'm feeling shame is the fact that I see that and I want to be part of people, but in the same aspect, like I also am realizing that I want more. And it's a me thing, but there's shame there around the pride that some people feel and me never becoming that, which is silly because why do I put so much emphasis on other people's opinions? Like it's not their life. So anyway, so with this barber program, I got burnt out, and the whole goal was to enlighten others of like where I messed up so they don't have to mess up. So I'm like, I want to work with businesses and leaders and shop owners so that, you know, like more people can not have the situation, not overwork themselves without like overgiving and not taking care of themselves. Like I feel there's major holes, especially like if you are an overgiver. And then that's kind of another thing that I realize is like not all barbers, not all hairstylists have that mentality. Like some are extremely the other way and could use to give a little bit more than what they do. But you know, so I'm like pinpointing and I'm getting clear and it's exciting. And I can't, you know, like I was saying, you have to inform people of what's available, like options to them, because it's rather selfish to be working on something and nobody be able to use what you're working on. And so this is a fun little game of self-worth, along with you know, like the obvious marketing and stuff, but it's more of that inner. It's more of that like seeing and trusting the bit inside of me and like pushing forward and actually doing, like holding myself accountable. And again, like no more excuses. We have to keep going. No excuses. But yeah, so anyways, it's exciting though. And I'm hoping that even though I've got some crazy stuff going on, like a concert tomorrow and then I'm heading out for vacation in about a week, I can stay on target, because I also know myself and know that I get really motivated and then it'll drop off. And so, you know, if I keep up with the consistency and keep stepping into that uncomfortable area, then I'm trusting this neuroplasticity that I've been learning about to show me some proof of the process. Because that's another thing, like life is really just an experiment. At least that's how I've been seeing it the last couple years, of like, it's an experiment. So like I know that how I got here you know, it didn't work. Like, I'm over it. And so all these different steps that I've been taking have been experiments to see if it works for me, to see, you know, if it's actually what I want, especially during that phase that I had no idea what I wanted. And so now, like, it's an experiment. This whole documenting the process is like a whole nother experiment. And at least this time I have proof. So that's exciting. And I feel like a scientist. Like, I keep coming back to like the hypothesis and like I don't even remember the entire process, but I keep coming back to the hypothesis and the result and like the scientific process of method of going through the process. And so again, life is an experiment. And there's another pattern. Like, there's a lot of things that are going on that are all coming full circle. And so again, I feel like the basics are necessity. And that even goes into my barber program. By the way, it's called Rogue Underdog, because if I don't tell you now, then I'm going to be mad, because that was the whole purpose of this video. But so with coming into the basics, like it goes back to my favorite quote of learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. And with the barber, we're going back to the basics of the barber and giving my knowledge of that. And then here, like physically, internally, I'm having to come back to the basics of like, just do it, you know, because those basics just continue to repeat themselves, and it's interesting. And I'm glad that we're documenting this, because there's a lot of stuff that comes up that I typically just ruminate in my head, but being able to get it out as well as writing it, I'm feeling of it more like attached to myself. So I feel like that's a positive, at least in my direction. But again, we'll get more focused as time goes on and get a little bit more of a system going. I know, excuses. Again, I have just so many excuses. But you can't be perfect all the time. So I'm gonna take it as a win that I just did 2 videos for the next 2 days, since I will be on concert tomorrow, and it would be scary to attempt this in front of other people, which I probably should do, but we'll see. Okay. Ciao. Have a lovely day.